Indeed, partying tonight. It is the beginning of the FIFA World Cup. And I gotta tell you, we're gonna keep you in the mix. We have a competition lined up. All that information coming up. Double jamming, Angela Kijo, Joss Stone. It is indeed an amazing song. It's called Gimme Shelter, back to back with Thames and Ara. Know Your Worth. It's now 10:11. Hello, everybody. If you're joining me once again, welcome aboard Channel Africa's African Diaries. My name is Tich Mataz. I'm on live on your number one radio station from 10 till midnight Central African time. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome onto the soul stage Simphiwe Mnisi, an entrepreneur, S-Anchor founder and CEO, a devoted mother to a beautiful 10-year-old Miss CEO, whom she is proudly grooming for business. Simphiwe is a passionate social entrepreneur and community builder with over 2 decades in youth development. As managing director of a family business, JGS Onati Farming and Projects, she champions skills development, entrepreneurship, and youth participation in agriculture. Her leadership across various community initiatives continues to create opportunities, empowering young people and driving meaningful social change. Recognized as the 702 Lead SA Hero and Tsakani Youth Community Leader, Simphiwe remains committed to building a future grounded in impact and empowerment. So let us welcome Simphiwe. Good evening, welcome. How are you?
Good evening, Tash. Thank you very much. How exciting to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome. Unfortunately, South Africa didn't play too well tonight. Were you watching the game?
Unfortunately not, because I was trying to prepare, but I saw the first half. I
Yeah,
saw the first half and I was like, no, my nerves can't handle
I
this.
know, I know.
I was too
It,
nervous and too scared, but you know what? We are still behind our boys,
yes, we
and
are.
we're very proud that they actually even made it this far. You know, I was even
Yeah.
saying to my daughter, the fact that they are there, that's an
Yes,
achievement and it's a win on its own. So we should be proud.
yes. Let's see what they do in the second round. Yes, Bafana Bafana, keep going. We want you to represent Africa at the highest level. So this year's
Definitely.
theme, yes, it's from resolutions to reality. Youth implementing action for impact. What prompted SATT to shift the focus from dialogue to accountability this year?
You know, a seat at a table. I am a senior administrator for a seat at a table, which
Mm-hmm.
is a women-focused leadership organization where we constantly thrive to giving young people an opportunity and an access, you know. So what changed the focus? We're really tired of lip service. You know, we're
Yeah,
tired of young people speaking and stakeholders speaking and not actually yielding results. So
yeah,
right now, all we wanted to do now with this youth summit is let us be intentional and let us have action. Let us see the results. You know, I think we're all tired, honestly, you
yeah.
know. So that's our main focus this year to say, let us be more intentional and put action to where our mouth is, you know, where
Yeah.
our promises are, you know, because young people are honestly just tired.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of lip service all around. We really need action. Now, you represent Seat at the Table and you're inviting a lot of young people to participate. Are they really responding to the call?
Yeah. You know, we are so oversubscribed. We were
Yeah.
even like right now we're busy with the guest list. We had like plus minus 350 young people wanting to join the summit, and we don't even know what to do with all that numbers, you know. We
Yeah.
had a meeting with our sponsor and actually encouraged them to say, listen, we need a bigger venue next year because that means young people are hungry for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Young people are hungry for their voice be heard, and also to actually implement what they've been sharing with all the different stakeholders. Young people have ideas. Young people are just hungry for opportunity and access. So we oversubscribed.
Yeah.
350 young people have asked to actually have RSVP. We're still having people saying, can you please squeeze us in? We know we've missed the deadline, we've closed, but can we just make an exception? And unfortunately, we can't take in more people
Yeah.
and still have to cut down. So
Oh.
hopefully our sponsor, which is Standard Bank, will really see the need and will really see this platform that the summit has created and that is creating. And maybe we'll look into expanding and making sure that more young people have access to this opportunity.
Yeah, so the summit is going to be happening on the 19th of June 2026, just before Youth Day. Why this
Yep.
timing? Why did you choose this particular date?
With everything that we do at a seat at a table, we're very intentional. We're very intentional, and we thought we're celebrating youth month. Why not actually allow the youth be a part of a bigger platform where we're literally saying enough is enough. Now let us work.
Yeah,
And hold our stakeholders, hold our government, hold the policymakers accountable, because the youth of 1976, they actually had the courage. But with
yeah,
this youth, we're saying, let us actually have the ability to implement what has been started. So with us being intentional with making sure that it happens within the youth month, it was us as an organization and with our partners saying, let us hold stakeholders accountable and have the courage to do and implement what we said we would do. As I said, no lip service, simply
yeah.
implementing now. Let us
Right.
act.
Simphiwe, South Africa's youth unemployment rate remains at 45%. And you, as a seat at the table, what is your perspective? What are the three most important barriers we need to overcome to ensure that resolutions become a reality?
It's really scary. It's really scary that the unemployment rate is that high,
Yeah,
you know, and I think hence the summits. We can't be having so many young, skilled, intelligent, capable young people not having access. So we are saying we need to be intentional in terms of creating skills opportunities, creating access to young people, for young people, to create mentorship as well, because it also doesn't help having an unemployment, such a high employment rate, and there are no mentors to mentor young people.
yeah,
So now that's why we're trying to bridge the gap, making sure that we bring partners that can also help these young people um, be mentored, given the guidance, given the platform, because as much as we can try to create employment, but if there are no people who can guide the young people and
yeah.
transfer the skills, then it becomes a waste as well. So we need that skills transfer from young people, from the old generation to the young generation, and making sure that the two collaborate and the two merge so that we are able to fight the unemployment. We won't be able to fight the unemployment alone. We won't be able to fight the unemployment without resources, without access. We need to work together, and we need to allow the young people to actually execute the ideas that they have. Now, I always say, young people, we have the most amazing ideas. We just need an opportunity. We just need someone who can really believe in us and really give us that key, that seat at a table, and mentor us and hold our hands and say, we see you, we hear you, we are here to guide you.
Yeah, yeah. You spoke earlier on that Standard Bank is quoted as one of your partners. What role do corporates like Standard Bank play in turning youth resolutions into real economic participation?
it simply says they are investing in the future generation, and they are intentional again, in seeing the growth of our country, the growth of our economy, the growth of the globe, because if we don't have partners like Standard Bank who have the resources, who have the access, who have the funds, we wouldn't be able to actually even execute a summit like this. So it's important and imperative for organizations like a seat at a table to partner with corporate organizations like Standard Bank, so that we can all hold each other accountable. We can all be part of the solution, because they can't do it on their own. We can't do it on our own. The young people can't do it on their own. So hence we need to collaborate, and we need to make sure that we are all working together in finding solution. So having a partner like Standard Bank really, really enables us to execute, and it really enables us to really fulfill the vision and the dream of making sure that young people have an opportunity, young people have access, and young people are able to implement. Their voices are heard. So Standard Bank is giving us an opportunity to give a platform to young people's voices to be heard and to implement the actions, to implement the ideas, to implement the suggestions that we have.
Simphiwe, you guys have been doing this since 2021 and you've accessed over 2,000 young people. Give us some practical stories that have become success testimonies for your organization.
So it's since 2024, we've been doing the Youth Summit.
Okay.
Sure. I think for us, the biggest success has been the collaboration. We really believe in collaborating and working together with other stakeholders. We're working with organizations like Empower Youth, Empower Women, One Young World, which now has become a part of our global partners. So that for us says, and it confirms the idea of working together and making sure that young people have a platform and have a voice. So that has really helped us, and that has been a great success, because through this youth summit, those are the partnerships that have been formed for us. And we are growing stronger. And it's so beautiful that we are able to come with solution together, as different entities, and share the resources amongst ourselves. So it really, really has been, even now we're going to be hosting the One Young World. Well, not hosting, but we will be partaking in the One Young World, and we will take a few delegates, young people, who will be going to Cape Town. How would have they had that access if it was not for partnerships and platforms like the summit? So we are grateful for those stories and those partners that have been formulated.
Yeah. At this year's summit, how are you going to make sure that the youth that attend will not just be sitting there, but they will participate, leading the agenda, facilitating, and coming up with solutions?
This is their platform. The summit is theirs. So we are literally stepping back, in a sense that going back to the resolutions that were formed last year, and going back to the youth and saying, here are the resolutions. What are we doing? Because already we have formulated the Entrepreneur Lab, the AI lab as well. So now we're taking it back to the young people and saying, this is what you decided. What are we doing with it? This is your platform. Have a voice. We're not going to be talking shop this year. We're literally not talking shop. We are giving them that platform to say, this is what you wanted. This is how far we are. How do we move forward? And then also making sure that we hold our partners, we hold stakeholders, we hold policymakers accountable to the commitment that they make. So we are going to make sure, as a seat at the table, that we do follow-ups, we do engagement with all the partners that will be there, all the speakers that will be there that commit to be part of the solution and part of this partnership with young people. So we're not just going to get excited that we are there, we've filled up the room, we are eating and having like a course. No, we are literally going to make sure that the young people hold us accountable so that we can hold the stakeholders accountable so that their voice can be heard.
Simphiwe, as we wrap it up, 1976 and 2026 is 50 years. In 1976, the youth of South Africa were really activist and proactive. What do you think that the youth of today may have learned from the youth of 1976?
Born, have courage. Have courage. I think what we are learning and what we've learned from the youth of 1976 is courage and resilience. You know, we should not back down in what we believe in. You know, we should not let circumstances allow us or determine where we're going, you know.
Yeah.
So we should be bold enough to take the seat that has been given to us and to occupy it so that one family can change through us occupying that seat. So that is the courage that we should have. That is the boldness we should have. Occupy that seat that has been given and offered to us and grab it with both hands.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and we wish you only the best. We'll see you on the 19th. I know it's going to be a great
Thank you
summit.
so much.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
My guest on the show tonight, Soul Stage. Thank you to Simphiwe Mnisi. This is Channel Africa.
Not just what happened.